It's a very good evening to you and a warm welcome to this week's edition of Breeding to Win. And of course, with the breeding season in full swing, it was no other than our champion breeders Klavervlei stud to hold their Stallion Day out at the farm this past Sunday. Vicky Minot and Gareth Pepper were out and about and bring us this report.
Thank you very much for taking the time to come and join us on this glorious day here at Klavervlei. Great to have Gary Player here, and we've got a little Klavervlei golf course now. We're going to be inviting people to take Gary on at chipping. Now, there are 3 balls, there are 3 circles. Each circle represents a different point structure. The person who gets the most points during the course of their 3 chips will win a Pomodoro service. However, it's not going to be free to enter. There's a charity aspect to it. And the Robertson Hospice will be generating some cash for them as well. So it's 1,000 Rand to take Gary on. The chances are that you're going to get a choice of a Pomodoro service as a prize. And Gary has also signed a beautiful golf glove as a prize to go along with that as well. Now, bearing in mind, the last golf club that Gary Player signed fetched 1 million Rand at the Klavervlei farm sale. So certainly some value to go with that. Gary, thank you very much for your participation and agreeing to do that for us. A round of applause for Gary, ladies and gentlemen.
James, obviously you won the free service to Pomodoro. Well, you had to chip well, but you did that, and that must be quite an exciting thing because it's a bit of a freebie for nothing.
Yeah, it is a real bonus. And I think it's a very kind gesture of Klavervlei for what they did to help the local Rotary or Lions. Yeah, I've just been looking at him actually now. I've just come from his stable. He's a very big athletic horse, you know, and I think he'll mate well with some of our goalkeeper mares. So it's an exciting proposition.
Was it a little bit intimidating taking on Gary Player?
Well, like someone said to me, it's nothing like having Gary Player teeing up the ball for you. So yeah, it's quite intimidating with a whole lot of people lining up on the sides, but it's all for fun.
Isn't that great that you can raise 28,000 for hospice, which is such a great cause, so quickly? And golf has now raised $2 billion for different charities around the world, more than any other 2 sports in the world put together. Golf is a catalyst for raising money for underprivileged people and needy causes.
Right, without further ado, Managing Director of Klavervlei Stud, Mr. John Costa.
Thanks, Granty. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, our Lord has blessed us today. What a beautiful day. We couldn't have asked for a better day. I think we've had about 7 or 8 Klavervlei Stallion Days, and this is only the second one we've ever managed to do in the sun. So we've been blessed today. It's a huge privilege for us all to be together. And of course, as I've always said, these friendships are forged by one friend, and that is the horse. We're going to witness some supreme athletes today. I encourage you to enjoy it, have a great day with us, eat well, drink well. You know, Klavervlei, we're the green team. We love parties, but the only reason we have parties is because of the horse and friends. And it's now my great pleasure to introduce Chris van Niekerk to you, who will be our guest speaker today. Chris has thrown his whole heart and his whole soul into this industry. Ladies and gentlemen, he's been the director of the RA, of the Racing Trust, of Phumelela. He's currently the chairman of Kenilworth Racing and of CTS. And I'm sure Chris is going to disseminate some wise words with us today. So a big hand, please, for Chris van Niekerk.
Good afternoon. Thank you, John. I'm not so sure about the wise words part, but nevertheless, it's great to be here and very happy that you allow me some time to say a few words. Since John has now mentioned all these bodies that one has found oneself onto, why does one do all these things? clearly to try and make a change, clearly to try and improve what you have through your hobby been investing in. And one is privileged to be able to have been exposed to these different bodies, because you learn a lot more. You understand the entire industry a little bit better, because we have collectively, and those who came before us, we have built this industry. One has to involve oneself if you want to try and improve things. But I can tell you, I think that ultimately, and if we sit here as breeders and owners of horses, then ultimately we need to find a way to move our animals in and out of this country more easily than we are able to do at the moment. And I'm of the opinion that ultimately it will not be a scientific solution, ultimately it will be a political solution. Because you need two countries to agree at the political level. And there are many people, I can assure you, are working exactly at that to make that happen. I can assure you, there's more good than bad. Even Kenilworth Racing, because we got involved with that. Kenilworth Racing is better off today than it was, say, 2-3 years ago. We have, of course, here in the Cape, some time back, and for my sins, I'm involved with Cape Thoroughbred Sales. I can assure you, Cape Thoroughbred Sales will continue to try to give you more innovative platforms to buy and sell horses. That is the objective, to make it better. I trust you'll allow me to say a few words about Pomodoro. First of all, I need to explain where the name comes from. His dam is Golden Apple. And in the 1600s, 1666 to be exact, a person by the name of Antonio Cesti wrote an opera called Il Pomodoro. It was about the Roman goddesses having a fight over who is the fairest. And I think one of the gods was Apollo, or somebody had to decide in the end, who gets the golden apple, who is the fairest? And hence his name, Pomodoro. Il meaning the, pomo, apple, de oro, gold. So no tomatoes. Golden apple. We hope he's going to give you that golden apple or that golden egg that we all hanker after. John Kramer's morning, and when I arrived, he said to me, new season, new hopes. And that's how we live in the racing industry. New season, new hopes. Always better. Can be better than the previous one. Lastly, I want to congratulate John Costa and his team at Clavervlei for winning the championship this year. The team understands that success is a journey, it's not a destination. But it's not possible without you. You are the customers. You support the stallions. You buy the horses. Without you, it's not possible. Without a customer, you haven't got a business. And we understand that. And we thank you for that, for your support. And we want to say to you lastly, you must drink and eat as much as you possibly can today, because you have paid for it already. Be my guest. Thank you very much.
We're going to ask a couple of questions between both John and Sean, because they've obviously got slightly different perspectives, one from the breeding side, and Sean obviously knows all about Pomodoro because he's had him from inception. In fact, was also part of the mating plan. But let's start off. I'm going to ask John a simple question first, John. What is the holy grail of breeding?
Grant, for me, the holy grail has to be winning a Group 1. A Group 1 horse race, I think there are only 34 in South Africa. But to win a Group 1 is the holy grail for me. And my son JP always tells me, he says, Dad, you can either make excuses or you can win Group 1s. You can't do both. So definitely winning a Group 1.
For Clavervlei Stud, how important is it to get a horse like Pomodoro to come stand here?
Well, Grant, if you look at Europe and you take Sadler's Wells as an example, 14 years he was champion sire of Europe. And I think when Sadler's Wells turned 15 years old, Monjour was born. When he turned 16, Galileo was born. And when he turned 18, High Chaparral was born. And up until that point of time, everybody in the world was convinced that Sadler's Wells was not going to be a sire of sires. He had great fillies. He had a very good stallion overseas in America, but in Europe, the Europeans were convinced he was not going to be a sire of sires. And we know how brilliant those three stallions are. So to have our Sadler's Wells in South Africa in the form of Jetmaster, the greatest son, stallion son born on South African soil, to have a son of his at stud, who was a dual Group 1 winner. And as I said, there's not many Jetmasters at stud, and there's certainly not many Group 1 winning Jetmasters in stud. Here we have a Jetmaster colt who won 2 Grade 1s, classic winner at 3, out of a broodmare of the year by a stallion called Northern Guest, who was 9 times champion sire of this country. I mean, he ticks all the boxes, this horse, and you'll see him just now when he comes out. He is the most gorgeous looking horse, so a huge privilege for Clover Flay, and we snapped that up when Chris gave us the offer.
Sean, let's hand over to you. Pomodoro obviously has a very special place in your heart because the family, you know it well. Tell us a little bit about him as a horse as well, his quirks, if he has any, his personality.
From day one, he was quite imposing, quite a special horse, and the funny thing is the fact that he's won his Group 1s, one being the July over 2-2 and the Derby over 2-4. He competed in 2 1200s in which he beat a feature field in the one and he ran second in the other. He competed in 2 1400s in which he won the one and ran second to Variety Club in the other. So the fact that a horse like this has that type of versatility and athleticism, I think speaks volumes for the racing in this country where we are quite scared to buy horses that have a lot of stamina, but here we've got the speed as well. And I think the fact that he ran behind Variety Club 3 times, confirming that he was not more than 2 lengths inferior to Variety Club over Variety Club's distance, is a massive feather in his cap. And you know, we are saying about the Group 1s that he's won, but we don't need to doubt Variety Club's ability. We know what he's done on the world stage, and the fact that Pomodoro's gotten that close to him and confirmed it 3 times, it was no fluke. Just, you know, take note of those runs, because those runs are massive.
Last question for both the gents, because I'm sure the stallions are waiting and you're looking forward to seeing them as well. Sean, you've got your own little mare band as well. What percentage of those would you be sending to Pomodoro yourself?
Everything that's not a Jetmaster.
John, from your side, from Clover Flay perspective, obviously in terms of the support that you get from this farm?
Yeah, Grant, like with all of our stallions, we don't stand a stallion in stud if we don't believe in him. We will be sending ourselves about 18 mares to Pomodoro, plus I counted up nearly 15 from the farm, from outside clients. So we're going to give him a full hog, and we're going to do that with, we've got such lekker mares lined up for him. And as I said before, for me, watching Jetmaster and Captain Al do battle all these years, it's so exciting for me to have a son of Jetmaster at Clover Flay. I cannot wait to get stuck into those matings.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Costa, Sean Terry, stand by, watch your TVs. The Stallion Parade is about to begin.
From an early stage, he was taking on top fields and was destroying them.
Well, Pomodoro in the centre looking to run on, and Heavy Metal Governor General is looking to get going as well. It's open, Tandragee in the middle, Pomodoro in the middle's picked it up in the closing stages, and Pomodoro has raced away and has won it well.
Pomodoro, Chesalon up the centre outside, is now getting into full cry, and also running on is Eaton Square, Smanji, down the inside, Vettel, Pomodoro, Smanji and Pomodoro, here comes the line, very close, maybe Smanji in a photo with Pomodoro.
He fits every criteria. The game is easy, it's all there for us to read. Grade 1 winners make stallions, and South African bred sons who were Grade 1 winners are the only ones who survived, who have succeeded.
And I'm excited for Pomodoro to get to stud, and I'm excited for him to start producing horses and to obviously to get my hands on the horses that look the way I think they should look. It's just a whole new adventure and a whole new start, and believe you me, when Chris and I see them in the ring, we will put our head down.
He's a beautifully bred horse on both sides of his pedigree.
and it's Warm White Knight who's got it clear by 3 lengths out here, moving like a winner, and Warm White Knight in a common canter.
Warm White Knight is in front. He has it by a length and a half from Cerise Cherry, who's trying to challenge him in second. Warm White Knight keeps on going, and here's another message: bring what you like. Warm White Knight by 3 lengths.
Warm White Knight is down the inside, and outside of runners, Blue Tiger is coming home full of running. Warm White Knight has hit the front, Blue Tiger flying. Warm White Knight from Blue Tiger, Thunder Key, and hear the drums.
JPEG, the Vine Jury's now got out, he's charging home, but JPEG's going to land the guineas. JPEG, Big Six, desperately close, JPEG, Big Six.
JPEG digging again, JPEG and Dargina, JPEG the outside, JPEG.
We'll bring you more of the Claverflay Stallion Day right after the break.
We believe in excellence. We believe that if you're going to do something, you do it to your best ability. We aim to make Balmoral #1 in the Southern Hemisphere, not just South Africa.
Oh no! So number 14, All Is Secret, is victorious. Well Witcher.
And for the lads wanted.
Shane takes the lead. Shane wins the Elgos.
Welcome back to Breeding to Win, and without further ado, let's go back to Klavervleisstad.
Twice over out in front is going to win the Champion Stakes for Henry Cecil. And it's twice over with the pink Happy Shoes in front of Vinci against the Rouse in second place. Behind this Vinci in the car, but it's twice over now on a great day for Henry Cecil. It's twice over.
I'm really delighted he's got a good stallion job, because if a horse ever deserved it, it's him. And I think you'll be getting progeny that are very genuine, and certainly will give you, if they're anything like him, they'll be giving you 110%.
When I saw that foal today, he's got girth, and the emails that I've been receiving on the Facebook and social media, the depth of these foals, they are incredibly looking horses, and that's what we want. If he can produce horses to look like himself, half the battle's won.
King's Apostle was one of Britain's leading sprinters of his generation. A very tough and fast son of King's Best, he was described by his trainer William Haggis as a thoroughly genuine and consistent performer at the highest level.
He is a beautifully made horse with a very intelligent head, a strong hind leg and a good backside on him. And he was a very intelligent horse and a very charming personality. I don't know that I've trained a horse that's been as tough and as genuine as him.
Having concluded 2007 with a 1 1/4 length victory in the 1200 metre HSS Higher Stakes at York, King's Apostle earned himself a time form mark of 108 plus.
And they're racing.
Showing how he developed into a speedy and tough sprinter, he took on a high-class field in the Group 2 Diadem Stakes at Ascot. Showing tremendous acceleration, King's Apostle took the lead in the final 200 metres and demonstrated just how tough he was to hold back challenges from proven group-winning sprinters Diabolical and Sir Jerry in an exciting finish.
And we went to Deauville, where we ran him over 1,300 metres. And he always travelled extremely well in a high-class race, and quite frankly was always going to win.
Racing just off the pace, King's Apostle showed his true class by getting up to win by half a length going away, earning a time form best of an impressive 121. There's no doubt that King's Apostle is an exciting new sire for the Mr. Prospector line that has already had proven success in South Africa.
Let's put his head in front. Evening Attire, the filly on the far side. Then Silent Screen behind them. But Rebel King is going to stamp his authority in the nursery. Rebel King from Evening Attire.
and Blue Tiger. Gaultier up the outside. It's Rebel King that wins it.
They're really athletic horses, and I think they'll come early. He was a great racehorse. I mean, his history tells you that, and his success on the racecourse. You know, they look racehorses, and the ones that we've seen have indicated that they are precocious. So, yeah, I think he's got a great future.
Dandelago's coming home strongly on the inside. Dandelago now spreads his wings at the 150-metre marker. Aslan's on the prowl on the outside. Dandelago continues to roll. Lizard's Desire's coming out for second, but Dandelago won it. Lizard's Desire second.
He is, yes, you can see he's a bullet horse. But as big as what he is, he's got the most amazing temperament.
He's got an exceptionally nice crop of foals. This last, well, they're weanlings or yearlings now. And we're quite excited to get them going and get them on the sales to see how they get perceived by the public or the racing world. But I think there's a stallion here in the making. I think he's got a lot of potential, and the foals are looking really good. He's a super intelligent horse, probably one of the most intelligent horses I've ever worked with. Yeah, no, he's absolutely super horse to work with. He's got such a nice temperament.
Table now, Cerise Cherry on the far side as Odyssey Sporting Boy is looking to come out of the pack now, but it's Odyssey on the far side fights hard. Odyssey under Christophe Simeon won it.
Into the last 200 now. Captain Scott Odyssey is coming home strongly. Odyssey coming home powerfully in one scintillating win. Odyssey has won the London News Stakes.
Congratulations, son of Odyssey. Clover Flay will be delighted about this.
Outstanding. we always rated Odyssey. I think a lot of us did rate him. Clover Flay, obviously everyone knows they do a fantastic job. And I think he's going to be a stallion worthwhile watching, you know.
Seventh Rock now comes bounding into the lead. Towards the inside, Argonaut, then comes Street Cat, Golden Music trying to quicken up. Seventh Rock in front though, Seventh Rock in front as they get to the line. Argonaut lunges late, Seventh Rock won it. And Guinness now ridden to respond, 3 parts of a length. Carry On Alice is now going to try and reel him in late on, but Guinness continues to go from Carry On Alice, who's coming home late. Guinness is crying for the line. Guinness all out and pulled it off.
But it's just fantastic, and I won the same race on his father.
Sure.
You know, so to win on the progeny as well, very special. And obviously a big well done to the boss as well.
Yeah, Dees, and don't forget Seventh Rock. He's just a superb stallion, and I've been saying it for a long time to a lot of people. And this horse has vindicated what I've been saying about Seventh Rock. He is just a supreme stallion.
It's about choosing performance, looks, and pedigree. And if you get those three ratios right, anything can happen. And that's what we hope for. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it requires a heck of a lot of support from breeders that know what they're doing. Stockmanship prevails. But at the end of the day, it's luck. And what you want to do is to encourage the guys that have got an idea that they want to engender and never turn them away, because they're your next big luck charm.
Huge array of stallions, obviously all to their own theme songs, but just mention a few that really stood out for you.
Sure, Seventh Rock. I'm a big Seventh Rock fan. I love Seventh Rock. I think he's really a stallion for the future. I still very much like JPEG. I think he's a real nice scopy horse, which you can mate nicely. He'll put size, scope and quality into your mares. And they've got some really exciting stallions. And Pomodoro looked great. You know, for a horse that's raced a month ago, he's a good scopy quality horse. Yeah, I was actually very impressed with him, more so than I thought I'd be.
Yeah, I think Pomodoro's been here for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, he came looking a picture from Sean's yard. As we all know, Sean turns his horses so well. But when you see him this time next year, you will not. He'll blow you away. You know, it's just a thing with stallions. Once they start covering the mares and they have a year to settle down at stud, they just change. They become men. You know, he's a boy really now, and he'll be a man next year, and he'll be awesome when you see him next year.
Look, Captain L, he'll always impress you. No matter how old he gets, he'll always impress you. Seventh Rock, lovely horse, twice over, also a very nice horse. And then Pomodoro, I think when he lets down, he's going to be a super horse, I think.
Well, obviously Captain L, I mean, he's just about breaking records every season. He's a super 2-year-old stallion, probably the best we've had in many a decade in the country, and the fact that he's South African bred and raced just puts the cherry on the top. But I like Warm White Knight. He wasn't as flashy and as well shown as a lot of the other stallions on the day, but he's a personal favourite of mine. And then obviously Seventh Rock and Dan DeLago, specimen-wise for me, are very impressive horses.
Oh, fantastic. I've been coming here since inception, and these have been my friends for 20 years, so it's just wonderful to come and see your friends and just come and have a few beers, and it's always been great coming here. I can tell you some stories here, but I'm not going to now.
As I keep on saying, somebody up there looks after us, and John, having decided not to put a marquee over the whole place, I think he prayed more than most for this great weather, and it worked.
You always show a horse better in the sunlight, you know. It's God's light, you know what I mean. And you know, we've had intense before because the weather's always terrible this time of the year. But we were extremely lucky this year, and I think it's really worked out well.
You couldn't have asked for a better day. It's fantastic, and I mean, you know, a hell of a lot of preparation goes into days like this. And for the guys it's just a pleasure having a day like this.
John Costa's organised a fantastic day as always. These guys know how to entertain and they know how to promote stallions. Very good for the business.
Obviously, Clava Flay are the champion breeders, and you do expect them to have just about the best stallion there, and it's been a fantastic event so far.
Yeah, Vicky, you know, it's all about the people, isn't it? It's about the people and about the horses. I thought the horses looked extremely well. My team has done a fantastic job with them. And it's about getting the people here, the people that love the horses, that love the stallions. You know, they look at the horses, they go back home, they rethink their matings. So I'm delighted with the day. You know, at Clava Flay, we love a party, we love horses, we love people. And it's just been a fabulous day for all of us.
Bounded away from them.
And very well done to Sean and to Chris. I think they've got a bit of a horse in their hands.
Peregrine on the far inside, but Pomodora, and Pomodora stays on the better one well today.
He is really a nice horse to ride.
Pomodora in the middle's picked it up in the closing stages, and Pomodora has raced away and has won it well.
He just stamped himself as a top 3-year-old in the country.
Smanji and Pomodora, here comes the line, very close, maybe Smanji in a photo.
And I'm excited for Pomodora to get to stud, and I'm excited for him to start producing. It's just a whole new adventure and a whole new start, and believe you me, when Chris and I see them in the ring, we will put our head down.
New Turf Carriers is a family-run business owned by Mark and Dory Sham and their 3 sons, Michael, Matthew and Marcus. New Turf Carriers has been in long-distance transport since 1995 and pride themselves in excellent service, punctuality and loyalty to their clients. Every single stud farm and every single sale to every single racecourse, New Turf Carriers pride themselves in delivering your horse safely. The welfare of your horse is paramount, and it is to this end that we have our own midway stop between Johannesburg and Cape Town. This is situated at Colesberg, where we have a stabling facility for 60 horses, so that the horses on long trips can get off and have a rest during their journey. The bottom line is, New Turf Carriers take your horse from door to door with pride, passion and punctuality.
Gavel House is the leading website for trading horses online. Selling your racehorse, mare or even a share in a yearling is so easy on Gavel House. You can browse our sires directory to match the best mating for your mare. with text description, videos and up-to-date sires reports. Gavelhouse.com is the best way to sell your horse. We reach places others can't, where buyers and sellers deal direct and pay no commission. Go to gavelhouse.com.
Well, the two horses being offered by Gavel House this evening, the one horse in training is Count Rocket by Count Dubois. Now, he's a dual winner and multiple stakes placed with approximately 200,000 prize money. He's currently in training with Glenn Cotson, and his career highlight was winning the Kenilworth Winter Juvenile Stakes over 1,600 metres. Young, well-performed gelding with proven form, and of course he's a 2010 gelding and priced on application. If you are interested, contact Derek Brugman. The other horse is an unnamed 2012 filly. She is by Argonaut out of Siena, and she is a big, strong filly and looks like a classic type of horse. She's in the process of being broken in and shows lovely movement. Now, her dam Siena was a 4 times winner and is the dam of 3 runners, 2 winners including Rush for Josh, who's the winner of the Winter Oaks and Ladies Bracelet, both listed events. So there's no initial cost. The leasee is required to pay monthly costs of stabling and vet bills. And if you are interested, you can contact Johan Janse van Vuren here in the Gauteng area. Well, that's a wrap for tonight's show. Don't forget to join us for our next Breeding to Win next Sunday here on Teletrack, your world of winners. Until then, from the Breeding to Win team, good night.